United States at the foot of the bridge, the famous bridge, the scene of Bloody Sunday 50 years ago today, Selma, Alabama. As hundreds of marchers made their way across the bridge, they were ordered by state troopers in Alabama to disperse. They did not. They were entitled to be there by court order. Nevertheless, they were attacked by those troopers. A great many people were seriously injured, among them Congressman standing there near the President of the United States, John Lewis, who introduced the President. George W. Bush is there as well. He renewed what was evoked from that day 50 years ago, the Voting Rights Act, which the Department of Justice regards as the most important and effective act of civil rights legislation in the last 50 years. Somebody who felt the violence of that era and recalls that day, the niece of Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. She wasn't there. She didn't march in Selma. Her father did, and of course her famous uncle later, but her home was bombed 2 years earlier, so she certainly knows well the events of that era, and she joins me now. It's a pleasure to have Reverend Alveda King, niece of Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr., Director of African American Outreach for Priests for Life and a Fox News contributor. Reverend, thank you so much for being with us. It was interesting. It was a very eloquent speech, beautifully written. What caught my attention at one point, and there were a great many fine points to be made, but the President said, "I reject the notion that nothing has changed in 50 years. Prejudice and discrimination back then," he said, "were endemic. They are not now. They are more the exception than the rule." Would you agree?
I listened very intently to the President and to Congressman Lewis. I could almost see my father there on that Edmund Pettus Bridge on Bloody Sunday with Congressman Lewis and so many others, Hosea Williams, James Orange, and my heart is deeply touched. I also heard what the President did not say. Of course, many things have changed, and we can admit that. And we're glad that some things have changed. I'm so delighted that we can all vote. This is America, and I urge everyone to get out and vote. However, what the President did not say, there is a whole group of people, over 55 million, who have been denied the right to vote because they've been denied the right to live, the little babies in the womb legally. What has changed in the last 50 years? 55 million babies have legally lost their lives by abortion and denied the right to vote. Yeah. And yet the largest abortion provider, Planned Parenthood, is getting $2 million from our tax dollars every day. Yeah. That's one thing that has changed. However, I believe that it's very important for the young people to know, and I'm not going to play the race card. I'm going to play the "In God We Trust" card. I'm going to play the "One Nation Under God" card and say, young people, you have a right to life. You have a right to liberty. You have a right to the pursuit of happiness. The doors of opportunities are open. We must vote to ensure that every American, born or unborn, can come through those doors. So some things have changed, some things have not.